He never meant to fall in love, not with her. She was older, married once, and his mom's best friend. But sometimes, love doesn't care who it destroys. When the truth came out, hearts were broken, trust was lost, and one life was changed forever. She'd been around for as long as he could remember. Rebecca Hall, his mom's best friend since college. Graceful, calm, with that warm smile everyone in the neighborhood loved. To Ethan Miller, she wasn't just Miss Rebecca. She was the only person who really saw him, not just as Linda's son, but as someone who mattered. When college stress hit, when his parents argued, or when life felt too heavy, she was there with coffee, a kind word, and that gentle voice that made everything feel okay. He told himself it was just admiration. But every time she touched his hand or brushed his hair off his forehead, something deeper burned inside him. Something he didn't want to admit. It was a stormy night in June. Ethan's mom was out of town for work, and Rebecca came over with homemade soup. She said, "You shouldn't be alone in weather like this." But that night, she didn't feel like an aunt. She felt like a woman, sad, lonely, and too beautiful to ignore. They talked for hours, about dreams, about fear, about how people pretend to be happy. Then, in a quiet moment, when thunder shook the windows, their eyes met, and everything changed. Her hand brushed his cheek. His heart stopped, and in one unplanned moment, the line between right and wrong disappeared. What started as guilt turned into something darker. Obsession. They told themselves it would stop. It never did. They met in coffee shops outside town. She called him from a private number, always after midnight. And when they were together, time stopped existing. Rebecca would whisper, "Ethan, this isn't right. We can't do this." But when he looked at her, the way she looked back told a different story. He felt alive, needed, loved, and that feeling made him blind to everything else. But secrets have a way of showing themselves, and all it takes is one mistake. Ethan's mom, Linda, came home early from her trip. She found Rebecca's bracelet on the kitchen counter. At first, she smiled. Oh, Rebecca must have stopped by again. But later that night, when she picked up Ethan's phone to call him for dinner, a message popped up. "I miss you already. Same place tomorrow? R." The world stopped. Her hands shook. The phone hit the floor. That night, she sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at her son's picture on the wall, wondering how her best friend and her own child could betray her like that. The next morning, Linda called Rebecca. When she showed up, the air in the room was so heavy it was hard to breathe. Linda didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just said, "Why, Rebecca?" Rebecca's eyes filled with tears. "I never meant to hurt anyone. It just happened." Ethan tried to speak. "Mom, please." But Linda's voice broke. "You could have loved anyone, Ethan. Why her?" Rebecca whispered, "It's my fault. Don't blame him." Ethan shouted, "No, I love her." That sentence destroyed whatever was left of their family. Rebecca left in tears. Linda collapsed on the couch, silent. And Ethan, he realized too late what he'd done. Rebecca moved away 2 months later. No goodbye, no closure, just gone. Ethan tried calling her, but she changed her number. He later heard she'd moved to another state, started over, tried to forget. His mom eventually forgave him, but not completely. There was always distance now, a quiet wall between them. Years passed. Ethan became a man, but every time it rained, he remembered that night. The warmth of her hand, the sound of her voice. He still drives past the old coffee shop sometimes, wondering if she ever thinks of him. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But one thing he knows, love that begins in silence always ends in heartbreak. He loved his mom's best friend, and he paid the price.